So, the name is Jacques, Richard Jacques, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
How has been your relationship with a franchise like the James Bond franchise, in which music is so important?
Well, I have a lot of friends who have been working on the franchise over the years, and I was very lucky to be asked to work on the Bloodstone game by Activision, and it was an amazing experience being part of such a big franchise because, as you say, music is so important in the James Bond franchise. So we spent a lot of time working on themes and, you know, giving the game a kind of up-to-date Bond sound to fit in with the current films and also the other games and make it very modern, but also still keeping very true to the old Bond films.
Which was your input in Bloodstone? Which kind of music you thought was fitting for that game?
Well, obviously I wanted to be true to the other composers, especially John Barry, David Arnold, but also I'm an action music composer, so I wanted to make sure the score had just a great deal of action and lots of energy, but also being true to the kind of soundtracks from the 1960s and 70s where the Bond franchise began. So I wanted to create a modern but still classic Bond sound, so it was very much my own score, but of course taking influence from the great soundtracks that have been available.
It's not just James Bond, right? You're like a double agent, which infiltrates into other franchises and genres. And for example, we have Jet Set Radio, which HD version is just around the corner. Maybe it's the most musical game you've worked on. How was that creation?
Well, I worked on Jet Set Radio probably 12 years ago now, and it's great to see the HD version coming to consoles this summer because the fans really, really love that game. I first saw the game in Japan when I visited, and seeing all the artwork and all the graffiti style and the cel shading style of art was amazing. And I knew that they were going to create a soundtrack which had, you know, kind of hip hop and dance music and everything, and it's a really cool project. And so they asked me to compose one track for Jet Set Radio, and I also composed 3 tracks for Jet Set Radio Future as well. So it's another great franchise, and I'm looking forward to seeing the HD version. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. And with Sega, it's not just Jet Set Radio. You've been working with them in many games. For example, Sonic games. How is it to work to compose music for a mascot like Sonic, so important, so relevant?
Well, I've done quite a few of those games, but they were quite early in my career, and it was quite a difficult task because, as you say, the mascot is so well known. But it was really good fun, and I wanted to, again, you know, create a soundtrack that I thought was going to be right for the character. So the first one I did in, I think, 1995 or something, and then towards the end of my career with Sega is when I did the Headhunter game, which was the big orchestral soundtrack, so I kind of moved away from that. But it was great working on so many of the Sega games, and you know, with my friends in Japan, and yeah, it's a really good beginning to my career.
Great. Sonic means speed, and speed is also found in racing games, obviously, and you've worked like in many racing games. When you write music for a racing game, do you think music has to enhance the intensity of the race, or it's more like the music you put on your car when you're driving around?
I think it really has to enhance the intensity of the game. Recently I was working on Forza 4 for Microsoft, and the music in the game is all completely interactive, so even when you go around a corner and you do have a slow motion camera, the music changes. It's very clever, but that's very fast electronica, which I enjoy composing. And yeah, it's just all about energy, so I put all my energy into the music so that when I'm playing the game and when I'm driving, it's yeah, it's an energetic experience. Yeah.
About orchestrated music on games. How do you see that aspect today? Because obviously in the last 10 years it has become almost like the norm in video games.
Yeah, obviously it's quite common now. When I first did Headhunter, that was my first big orchestral score, and then Starship Troopers, Mass Effect, etc. I've really enjoyed the transition, but I actually was a trombone player in orchestras when I was studying music, so for me the orchestra is very natural. I think in video games it works very, very well. I'm glad that there's a lot of orchestral music around, but of course there is many styles of games, therefore many styles of music. So I think orchestral music is great and will always be in games, and there will be many other styles as well. So I think it's really good.
We're hearing some orchestra in the background right now. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, because tonight we have that video game concert. What 007 piece are we listening to tonight?
The orchestra are going to perform Athens Harbour Chase, which is a big action piece from the James Bond soundtrack that I composed. It takes place on a harbour. It's a speedboat chase, so it's very fast, very loud, and it should be a lot of fun.
Great, thank you very much. That was it. Looking forward to the music piece from Jacques, Richard Jacques. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.